My name is Seth Adam Smith. I'm a husband, father, and author. For years, I've struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts. But one of the things that gets me through each and every day is discovering a new reason to live. A little while ago, I was interviewing a Native American named Pauline Sanchez, and she was holding this beautiful pot. It was an absolutely gorgeous pot. And I remember looking at that and being reminded of an analogy. I remember when I was going through depression, I was feeling like God was just pushing me down. I remember being angry at God for the things that I was feeling, that He hated me specifically. And I felt over and over again that I was being pushed down. Even when I would kneel to pray, like, please, I don't want to experience this anymore, I still felt this weight, like He was pushing me further and further down. And as I went further and further down, I would cut myself off from other people. Right? These walls would go up. I didn't want to be around other people because I was afraid of what my life would do to them, how it would impact them. I didn't want them to feel sorry for me. I felt bad for my family. I felt like I was a burden to them. I just kept isolating myself. It was like I was inside of this really dark pot, right? I'd been pushed down. The walls of the pot had gone up, and it's dark in there, right? It's dark inside of this pot. You're cut off from life. And I've thought about that. And how that pot really does represent an experience with depression, being that weight, that being pushed down and pushed into darkness. But at the same time, if it really does represent a pot, then there's a blessing in that. I remember a time where it was like they say in Malachi, where God will pour out a blessing upon you and there will not be room enough to receive it. I remember that. I remember the day that happened for me, where here's this experience I went through with depression, right? It's just this deep hole in my life, this really painful, dark period in my life. And I clearly remember the day when it felt like God took the Big Dipper, filled it with water, and then just poured it into this pot. Like He was pouring life into this pot. And there was experience after experience after experience of things like just blessings that were being poured into this pot, and I didn't have room enough to receive it. And I realized that God had been using this experience to create a holding place for something more, right? I appreciate things in life a lot more than I ever would have had I not gone through that experience. I remember holding my daughter for the first time and being so overwhelmed with gratitude, not just because I'm a father, but because I almost missed this experience, right? It deepened my joy in that moment. And there's been experiences where I've been able to talk to other people who are going through similar things, and I wouldn't have been able to connect with them or become friends with them had I not gone through an experience similar to what they had gone through. And with that analogy of the pot, I just know that if you feel like you're being pushed further and further down, you're being prepared to hold something, to hold life in a different way, to hold more life, more water, more food, more abundance than you ever would have been able to hold otherwise. It will deepen your joy. And that's a reason to keep living.